Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Arvin, with another first impressions video. This is going to be on one that's airing on Hulu and Funimation, so you guys can catch them there if you want to watch this. Both of them are releasing two, or actually Funimation is releasing two investigation type of animes. This one is probably from the two my favorite, and it's called Special 7 Special Crime Investigation Unit. I will say though, from this one and the one Amazon Prime is releasing, the Babylon one, they're pretty close together, but we'll see which one I actually end up seeing. Before I continue though, a few things. If you haven't done so by now, please subscribe to my channel, hit that bell button if you guys don't mind, and you'll be notified when I go live, when I upload videos. Also, if you guys want to go to a giveaway, you have about 5 days left to be part of that giveaway, so go and make sure you become a entry there by going to the video in my channel. Lastly, I will recommend you guys to go and watch the first impression videos that I have from the current anime that has been releasing this past few days. I have quite a bit of them already out, so make sure you go check them out. There's a few more coming your way this week and weekend. So yeah, anyways, lastly, there's a spoiler alert because I will talk about it in very detail, the first episode at least. So again, the anime is Special 7, and this is going to be in Funimation. It is subbed as of right now. I don't know if it's going to be dubbed by them or not, but we'll figure it out later. Anyways, this anime is definitely one of those that you kind of are interested in watching it, but at the same time, if you miss it, it's not a big deal. So just so you know, that's one of those animes that I think, at least in myself, it's not top 5 or 8 of the season. That's basically what I'm trying to say. But it will make maybe top 10, top 15 of the season. Because it is good. I just don't think is one of those that people would talk about in detail past maybe the first episode. So, Special 7 essentially follows the life of this one guy who, as a child, almost died in a terrorist attack. We don't know much about the terrorist group other than they're called Nine, I believe, because that kind of comes up in the episode quite a bit. So I'm going to guess they're the same ones that committed the crime, the terrorist crime, when he almost died. His life was saved by a investigator or an officer, and essentially he gave him encouragement to continue living because he was ready to die, just because he wasn't he wasn't the best in really anything. And he said he's really a point to live, and he gave him hope. So that's basically the beginning of the episode, and then we go to the opening, and then after the opening, we see him as a grown-up already, an investigator. So he essentially is going to the bank, and there's a hostage situation, and he ends up being a hostage. Now, it's good to know that it is his day off, so he doesn't have his guns or anything that would have helped him during that hostage time. So while he's trying to figure out what to do, he figures out that there's another person there who's also a investigator slash cop, who's sitting there as a hostage as well. And he's like, well, what should we do? I'm so new to the whole system. And he's like, oh, you're a rookie? He said, yes. Then he goes, well, let's just sit down and do nothing. And he's like, why are we going to sit down and do nothing? It's like, well, you don't have weapons, I don't have weapons, we can't do much about it. They have vests, they have weapons. He makes a few kind of comments on what they're wearing and say, you don't get that type of guns and vests anywhere. They have military level items. The tattoos also symbolized of a group that they've been in the military for a while. So he said these guys are not, your regular guys that don't know how to fight. They will put their life in the line. Now, that's kind of important to remember towards the end, because that was probably the only thing I didn't like about the episode, because they didn't make a big deal about how these guys are military guys, how these guys will die for their cause, and etc., etc. So keep that in mind because that will come back at the end of the episode. Essentially, they take hostage in a military vehicle, and the rookie investigator says, "Take me, don't take her. Let her live." So they take him because he's an investigator, and they decided just to take him. The other investigator is able to put a bug in his ear so he can hear him and hear what's going on in the vehicle. Basically, he's kind of useless, to be honest, being in the vehicle because they ask him, okay, is there a traitor amongst the hostage? Because they had to know about the diamond somehow because it was well hid by the bank. So he's trying to figure that out. That doesn't work. And essentially what he ends up doing is he ends up defending a guy and starting a fight with one of the guys that has a gun, and he almost gets shot. He gets thrown out of the vehicle, and yeah, after all that, essentially the Special 7 Force has all these characters that are involved at the scene as well. They have snipers, they have people with drones, and they eventually break a bridge enough where the vehicle can't go over, and they have to stop, and they go on a stand. The bad guys have the hostages with guns on their heads, and then the investigators are there, and they basically talk it out, and they say, you have two choices. We either do a shootout, and if you guys die and the rest go for life in jail, or you guys can turn yourselves in and, maybe serve a few years in jail. Now, this is the part I don't like, because after them talking about how they're military and they're veterans and they know how to put their life for their cause, they just kind of give up immediately, and they just go, okay, I guess, and they arrest them all. They do eventually find the bug, who ends up being a guy who was showed off the diamond by the manager, and he was part of the Group 9 again, a group that shows up again. Now, in all this, there's something else special about this anime, and it's very random. They tell us in the beginning, and obviously we notice it throughout the episode, but not so much. There's no unique characteristics, and that is there's vampires, there's elves, and there's humans living together in the city. Apparently there's a big war to see who's number one. They eventually came to peace, and now they live amongst each other. Now, why is this important? I don't know why. I'm going to guess that eventually maybe a story will build out from there. Maybe one of the three feels neglected, and that's why they made this terrorist attacks. I don't know. But in the first episode, they mentioned in the beginning that, by the way, there's elves and vampires, and unless you're noticing their mouths with the teeth or the ears, you don't really notice who's an elf or who's a vampire, which is, kind of what they're going for. They have the unity, the peace. They don't want to be like, okay, these are high class because they're elves, or nothing like that. They just kind of walk around with each other. But at the same time, why did they mention that, or why is that part of the story? That didn't have anything to do with the first episode, at least. I'm hoping that eventually that builds into maybe the bigger issue of the anime, but we'll see. Anyways, in a nutshell, this was a pretty good anime compared to the one I'll be giving my first impressions in a few hours for you guys. So this one is probably the best one of the investigation genre for Funimation. So go check it out if you guys don't mind. I think this one is in Hulu. I believe the other one is not. So make sure you check this one out in Hulu or Funimation. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Out of 10, I'm going to give this one, for right now, a 6.5. I think it's good. I think it could have been better in some of those plot holes that I talked about. But oh well. Let me know in the comment section if you're watching this, or if you're going to watch it after all. Maybe you decided not to, but after this video, you said, well, why not? Make sure you comment, like, share, do all that fun stuff. And thank you guys for your love and support. And like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.